Hello friends, I'm considering that you have understanding the previous lectures in which we studied how we can create users, groups, how we can assign roles in a project, what are issues and how we can develop the screens. Now in this lecture, let's consider two use cases. First use case, let's say there can be two users. You can see that this user has been assigned to all the projects which are available on Jira, and similarly the all others. So how we can restrict them so that a particular user is only assigned to the projects he is being allocated to. Second use case, there can be scenario like in a project we have developers, we have testers, we have customers. So how we can lead the permissions that only a tester, a QA person can close an issue. Does not have authority to create a issue, close a issue, or some another features like moving, changing the state of the issues. Customer can just view the issues. So both the use cases, first handling the permission of a user with respect to the project roles, handling the permission with respect to the project features. So these are more or less the same thing. So in this lecture we will be checking how to manage the permissions of the users in a project. First of all, to do this we need to go to the system and we need to define some project roles. Let's say we have considered three type of users, so just follow them. We have developers, okay, we have testers, and we have customers. So it is asking that you can manage the default members. It is not recommended to add the members here. Just create the roles, that these type of roles, different type of roles available in a project. Let's go to issues, and under the issues you will find permission schemes. So through these permission schemes you can define the permissions of the different users. Let's say this is the default permission scheme, and if you check the permissions, it gives the various activities permission. That let's say to browse project, who can browse project? Any logged in user. Who can manage sprint? Any logged in user. So similarly you can assign roles to the project roles or the groups here. So let's go back. Currently all three projects are having a default software scheme. So let us copy, let's change the name. Let's say customized default scheme. As we know, the scheme is a reusable one. So let's make a customized software scheme which will be assigning to the projects. Let's check the permissions. So administrator, okay, administrator have access. Browse projects, okay, everyone can browse project. Manage sprints, not everyone. Let's say manage sprint project role is granted to, okay, we need to create one more role, I just forgot, of the project manager. So system, under the system it's a project roles. Okay, yeah, so we have to say project manager, add project role. So let me again go to issues. I can go from here and let me go to the permissions, customize permission which we are making. Okay, so manage sprint, I want only the project role that is project manager can manage the sprints. Okay, view read only permission assignable. Close issue, I want only the tester can close the issues. Create issues, so I want developers to create the issues. I want project managers. I want to add the testers. I don't want the customers can create the issue. One more thing, we add that managed sprints can only be created by manager, but we need to remove this any logged in user. So just remove this application access any logged in user. Similarly, close issue we can remove for any logged in user. Similarly, the create issue. Okay. So as per your project needs, you can change all this stuff. So currently how we are distinguishing managed sprint handled by project manager, tester can close any issue, and customer cannot create any issue. Okay, that is a project permission scheme. Let me go back to it. Now we want to associate this scheme to our project. So how you can do it? You can go to your projects from here. You can go to the project, let's say learning Jira, and here you will go under permissions. So currently it is using a default software scheme. We want to change it, so you can go and use a different scheme, and let's say you can go for the customized software scheme. Okay, and you can verify it that management role is taken by project manager, and yes, it is the same one. Close issue is done by testers. So we added a scheme that these developers would be having this type of access, testers would be having this type of permission. But in a project, who are the developers and who are the testers, we forgot to mention. So let's go to users and roles. You can add here, add role to a user. So search group, we have a group of customers and assign to customers. So this person is added under the customers. Let us go to developers. Developer, I have added developer, given the role of developer. So added customer, developer, project manager. So currently myself, that is Vaibhav Gupta, I am the administrator as well as the project manager and the tester. So we have a tester also and assigned to the role of tester. So let's go to the all and see, yes, we have administrator, customers, developers, project manager, testers. Okay, so we have all the roles associated it. Test it and go to each role and see if these permissions have been applied or not. So let's go to the permission and see. Okay, so who can manage our sprints? The project manager. So that is myself, Vaibhav Gupta. Okay, so let me log in, as currently I am in login, so that's why it's not showing me, it's disabled. So let me go to the board. Let me go to the board of this project. and yes, I can complete the sprint. Okay, now let me log in with another user and let me see I have the access of managing the sprint. Let me log in as a developer. Okay, and let me view our boards. Close sprint, yes, it is disabled because I am not the manager, so that's why it is showing me disabled. So that's correct. Only manager can manage the sprints. Now, okay, let's see ability to create issues, and we can see develop tester all can create an issue. Yes, let's see a customer can do or not because we have not given access to the customer. Okay, and let me go to the customer account. Let me go to the customer, log in as a customer, and if you check, he does not have access of the project, right? In the create, he is not having the access to create in a project that is learning Jira. So it is totally correct. Yes, the customer is not able to create issue and project manager can handle the sprint. So similarly, you can grant access to all the issues. So you need to create project roles, and then you under the issues you have to create permission and associate with your project. So was your second use case, that how we can handle the permissions within our project. So we have seen that how a different tester, developer and project manager can have special permissions or different permissions within a project. So that was our second use case. So the first use case was that how we can restrict the access of a project. Let's say developer for project 1 can access only the project 1 and developer of project 2 can access only the project 2. So for this, let's go to user management and create two developers. So we have one developer, and so this developer is for, let's say, a learning Jira project, and we will have a new developer for sample Scrum. So ideally the name should come, but for easy understanding, for teaching purposes, we are using the name like this and give the name as helpingtesters.com. Create a user. Okay, so let's go to our projects now. Back to Jira. And let's go to projects. And we have seen that this learning Jira has been assigned to permission customized software. So let's open this permission, which we have studied in previous lecture. Let's go to this permission, and this was a customized software scheme which we developed. So we have seen that browse project. Who can browse project? We have given any logged in user. So let's edit it, and Let's say who can have access? Customers of that project. Who can have access? Developers of that project. Who can have access? Project manager of that project, and also the testers of that project. And let's remove anyone who is logged in can access the project. Okay, so for this project, so this is the scheme updated. Currently, let me go to again to the permission schemes. So currently it is this scheme is used by only one project. Let's say this Scrum project also use this scheme. So let me see if I can edit from here. No, I cannot. I have to go the respective project, sample project. I have to go to settings. I have to go to the permissions, and I have to update it to use the customized software scheme. So also it has been updated, and in this project let me assign one developer, the new developer which we have created, that is developer for sample project, and assign it to it. If I go to issues and in permissions, I can see this scheme is associated to these two projects now. Now, this Learning Jira project has one developer, that is dev1 developer, and this project has a different project developer. So both developers are different and assigned to respective projects, so they should have access to that project only. Let's verify it. Let's switch back to the main account, and he is the developer that is to the Learning Jira project. So log in as a developer, and under the project section, let's see to what projects he is associated with. Okay, so he is associated with Learning Jira. So that is pretty self-explanatory and clear. He is not assigned to Scrum project. Now let us log in with a different developer. That is the developer for Simple Scrum. Now log in as a user, and let's see to which project he is assigned. Okay, it's not showing. Let's see view. Okay, so it is assigned to Scrum sample project but not Learning Jira. Kanban is, we are not considering it because for Kanban it has default permission. We are only considering that the user, the second developer, should not have access to Learning Jira, and that is perfectly correct. So our first use case is complete. The two developers should have access to their projects only. A user should not have access of all the projects in the Jira. So we studied in these two lectures how we can handle the permissions of users for different projects, and also the permissions for different users within the project.